Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. A little over a year ago, I bought my wife this 2012 Volkswagen Touareg with the 3.6 VR6 engine. When I bought the car, the only real issue that I could see was a very strange wear of the rear tires. Rear left specifically, but they were both worn pretty strangely. After some investigation, I figured out that both rear springs were broken. And as a side note, I know I said that every time I replace broken springs, I still do not understand how these cars break springs. So both stock rear springs on the car were broken, left and right. The left tire was worn off quite a bit, but both springs were broken and had to be replaced. Unfortunately, Volkswagen was backordered on the stock springs for the unforeseeable future. There were none available in North America. There were none available online, and you could not find any sort of aftermarket stock replacement. So unfortunately, I had to settle for the H&R springs, which lowered the vehicle. Many people have commented in my previous video where I actually installed the springs, saying, why would anybody ever do that? I fully agree with you. I did not want to do this. I did not want this vehicle lowered to the ground. It does look nicer, but it loses that functionality of having high ground clearance, especially in Canada where we get a lot of snow. But I digress. That was the only choice at the time, and I had to get this fixed because the tires were more or less done. Seeing as I was doing the springs, I went ahead and did the shocks as well and installed DCS mid-muffler delete just for that extra little grunt. Fast forward to this spring, when I went to swap in my summer wheels, I noticed that my rear tires were yet again completely destroyed. In other words, I actually killed another set of tires. All right, fine. Clearly we have an issue with the rear suspension beyond the broken springs. So I decided to service the lower control arm and the toe links, which allow for the adjustment of the tires, assuming the tire alignment was off. Now, when I started the work, I could not find the lower control arms as a complete set. I could only find the bushings. So I went ahead and spent a stupid amount of hours redoing the bushings on the control arms. They're not really designed to be serviceable. Yeah, I did it, but it's a massive pain in the butt. New toe links, new control arms, new eccentric bolts because they were seized in every single bushing that I took off of the back of this car. And I went for an alignment. The alignment shop put it up on the rig and called me back, and I think in about 15 minutes, and said, nah, we can't really get the rear toe. You're out of adjustment range. Honestly, I did not want to spend any more time and money on this car. This is my daily, I have so many other projects to do, but anyways, I didn't really have a choice because if I leave it like this, and my summer tires are pretty good set, and I really did not want to just throw them in the trash by driving, for the next 4 months on them. Since the shop tried to align the front and couldn't, I figured, okay, fine, I'm gonna deal with the back, but why don't I go ahead and do the front as well? Did the exact same thing, tried to do the bushings, complete failure, gave up on that and said, okay, fine. I bought the control arms, installed the new control arms. That's done. So this is where we sit today. I have to take this car in for another alignment because frankly, these tires are absolutely finished. And before I mount the other tires, I need to make sure that the alignment is correct. Unfortunately, there's no more adjustment range on the rear toe. The car is behaving very poorly on the road. Every bump makes the back shift around. I feel it's unsafe to drive, and frankly, it's destroying tires, which are not exactly cheap. So in today's video, I'm gonna try and fix the rear toe of this car using some unconventional means. Let's go. Now, before we jump into actual solutions, let's take a look at the problem first. This is the lower control arm. So this controls the camber of the wheel. In other words, by using this eccentric bolt, you're pushing the wheel in or out this way, which gives you camber. You will notice it uses an eccentric bolt. You've got about 180 degrees worth of adjustment. So you can go max to the right, max to the left, or somewhere in the middle, depending on where that bolt sits. Okay, that's camber. For the toe, we've got this toe link at the back, which is adjusted by this eccentric bolt here. It's attached to the knuckle here. So to adjust the toe of the vehicle, you turn this eccentric bolt here, which moves the back of the tire, this point, left or right, which moves your tire left or right, or toe in, toe out. So here's the problem. The tire needs to have more toe out. However, we have no more adjustment on this bolt. The alignment shop kind of freaked out. Something wrong with these bolts. You've done your setup wrong. It's not. Everything is exactly how it was. These are brand new links, yet we are unable to adjust the toe. Now, there's a company out there that does adjustable toe links for this chassis. If you've ever even thought about off-roading a Touareg, you've probably looked online and you have found a company called Eurowise. They do a lot of off-road stuff for Porsches, for Touareg, and they have a lot of off-roading parts. The problem is that these are very expensive solutions. Yeah, they're available, but The amount of money that you have to spend to fix this, for me, I'm talking well over $500 to just get the 2 links. So I set out to try and find an alternative and try and, learn something along the way. So let's see if we can actually go ahead and do that today. All right, so the solution is clearly an adjustable link. Now you can go ahead and, try and modify the subframe and do all sorts of other things to temporarily fix the problem. Of course, you're gonna need to be on the jig for that because you don't really know how much adjustment you need. So at the end of the day, an adjustable link is the solution. This one here is of a Buick. It's 2005 Buick. I will put the part number in the description below if you're interested in that. The main thing that I was looking for is obviously a link that's longer than the one I have, because if it's shorter, I cannot lengthen it up and match it up. So I need something that's longer that I can cut down, which is what this is. What I've done is already shorten one up here just to make sure it works, so I can show you guys what I'm doing. So this unit is quite substantial. It's much heavier, much sturdier than the actual stock stamped link here. It is coplanar for the bushings, just like the stock one. Pretty much everything is the same except for it's longer. We do have an issue. One of the sizes has to be bigger because the knuckle bolt is an M16. These are M14 holes. But other than that, it matches up pretty much 1-to-1. So what we gotta do is shorten up this link to match the size of the stock Touareg link and give us adjustability. Okay, it's pretty straightforward. The only thing we need to do is obviously make the thread. The thread on this is an M20 by 1.5. It's actually fairly standard. I got the die from Amazon for I think 20 bucks. So you can cut your own thread down into this. It's just a regular steel rod and then shorten it up. All right, I want to cut 12 centimeters, which means I need to extend the thread by about 12 centimeters. So it doesn't have to be all that precise. Make a little mark right there. Got 12 centimeters. And now we'll just go for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and shorten this down by 11 centimeters, which gets me to 49. So it's shorter than it used to be, but I have 1 centimeter of adjustment on here, which will actually extend it out. So we're gonna cut off 11 centimeters off of this and play with the adjustment on the car. And there we have 50. We need a bit shorter anyway, so that's fine. Last thing we're gonna do, pop the arms in. I also drilled out 2 washers, which are gonna go right there and make up for the lack of the divot in the control arm. All right, so we'll tighten this up once the vehicle's on the ground. Now rinse, repeat on the other side, and let's wrap this job up. That's it for this one, folks. I just came back from my 5th alignment with this vehicle. Finally got green across the board. I must have spent the last 2 years, thousands of dollars. I'm not even gonna try and add up the amount of hours on trying to fix the suspension. And really in the end, it took 2 adjustable toe links at the back to the total cost of 50 bucks, I think, to finally get this straightened out. So if you're having issues with the alignment of your Touareg, Porsche Cayenne, or Audi Q7, check the rear toe links and check those eccentric bolts because everything was seized on this truck. So that's it for this episode. If you've ever dealt with Touareg alignment issues, or if you have better ways of doing anything that I've done here, please comment below. Hopefully I'm not the only one out there dealing with alignment issues on their Touareg or chewing up rear tires, because that would just mean I'm crazy. So thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, click a thumbs up. If you want to see more, click subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.